Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you found your way here. I hope you click like, subscribe, and share, and that you drop a comment in the comment section. Those of you that have been with me for a while, thank you, thank you, thank you. And those of you that are new, welcome. So this is October, the energies of October, what's coming through in October, what we can expect in October. So there's a lot to be said because, as I said over on my TikTok channel, and if you're not on there, check out the description box where you find all my links and go like me on those, support me. This is quite the interesting time from September through to November. It's massive, it's explosive. A lot of things are happening on so many different levels. You can't contain it in one video. You can just list the headlines and leave it to people to figure it, sort it out. So in addition to the two moons that are in our sky from September 28th until November 29th, in addition to this, a strange object that the James Webb Telescope apparently picked up, in addition to all the things that are happening in politics and the resignation wave of CEOs once again, which we've seen happen before, and then things kind of happened. In addition to all these things, the Pope is making headlines, massive headlines. He's already Pope Francis. This is probably one of the popes in the Roman Catholic Church that are he's got people absolutely divided, absolutely and totally divided, because they're not certain what is he doing. And what I find fascinating and interesting is that he's actually, through his actions, maybe it was unintended, maybe it was intended, it's really asking people, what do you believe in? Where do you place your faith? With him doing what he's doing, he's actually showing how many people place their faith in the written word, in the book, in the letters, but not in the living spirit that is actually behind the book and the letters and inspired all of this. So it's quite interesting to see, what am I talking about? Well, watch this clip of Pope Francis, September 13th, in Singapore, speaking with youth at some kind of interreligious community get-together thing. Watch.
On this final day in Singapore, September 13th, concluding his trip to Asia and the Pacific, Pope Francis spoke to young people at an interreligious gathering.
Tutte le religioni sono un cammino per arrivare a Dio.
Because every religion is a way to arrive at God.
Dirò una comparazione, sono come diverse lingue, diversi idiomi per arrivare lì.
Sort of a comparison, an example would be they're sort of like different languages in order to arrive at God.
Ma Dio è Dio per tutti.
But God is God for all.
E come Dio è Dio per tutti, noi siamo tutti figli di Dio.
And if God is God for all, then we're all sons and daughters of God.
Ma il mio Dio è più importante del tuo.
But my God is more important than your God.
È vero quello?
Is that true?
C'è un solo Dio lì. E noi sono idiomi, cammino, lingue per arrivare a Dio.
There's only one God, and each of us is a language, so to speak, in order to arrive at God.
Qualcuno è Sikh, qualcuno musulmano, qualcuno hindi, qualcuno cristiano,
Indo,
ma
Christian.
sono diversi cammini.
There are different paths.
Understood?
So what he says is wild for staunch Roman Catholics, and they are going off all over the internet. And, saying that he's introducing Satanism to the church. This is against the law and the letters. And they basically turned into the Sanhedrin themselves and into these dogmatic teachers that are more followers of the book than of the author of the book and of the living spirit. We know that everything in this universe, nothing is more constant than change. I move my arm. It's because I'm a living being. I can move my arm. If I were dead, I wouldn't be able to move it. And I've long said that a lot of these religions are actually necromancy because they're not changing, they're not evolving, they're not moving, they're not alive. So we're worshiping something that is dead, especially something that is from very, very, very long ago. And that Spirit of God came through to a people with a certain level of understanding. And just like if that spirit does come through to us in this day and age in its own way and form, it's not necessarily going to be 100% understood for the people that are coming in 1,000 years or 2,000 years, right? Because part of that message is absolutely meant for the people of today, in the moment where we're at. And so part of the messages that came through aren't meant to be followed to the letter by us. I don't believe that, because that would lock us in and that would limit us and keep us in a very tight, small jail. Now, God did say, do not make an image of me. And the way I understand it is an image is a definition of something, which equals a limitation. And he's saying, don't limit me. I am an unlimited being. And we keep trying to limit God into how we perceive him and how we, are able to connect and interact, right? But if we accept that God created all of this, why wouldn't he make multiple pathways to himself? Because if there's one thing that seems to dominate in this universe, it's that this is a universe of change. It's a universe of diversity. It's a universe of differences. And oh, that's going to be a topic. Oh, we're going to get into that in just a second. Oh my gosh. So much to tell you guys. So, but yes, yes, yes. All roads lead to Rome. There's that saying, not for without reason. And yes, some people are saying, but Jesus said in the Bible that the only way to God is through me. Yeah, but yeah. What is Jesus to you? What is the Christ to you? Is it Jesus, the man, or Christ, the being, the consciousness, the frequency, the vibe? And can we call it by different names? Can we call it something? So are you saying that if somebody is deaf, blind, mute, and can't never learned the Christian root, nor can they ever learn the Christian root because all their senses are shut down, that they have no way into heaven? Are you serious right now? So that's how much faith people put into the word and the book instead of into the living spirit, and believing that this living spirit can be working through whomever it chooses to work through. If it's a humble farmer somewhere in the middle of nowhere who suddenly starts channeling, or if it's through someone who's highly visible and can leave a message that makes an impact, or at least gets people to think about it. So not only did he say this message, not only, so this is world shifting stuff, you guys. Not only did he say this message, but today, he was in, let me see here, let me share this with you. 1 second. Doodle-doodle-doo. Ba-ba. Share. Come on. Share. So today he was in, let me just close this. Okay. He was in Belgium, right? At a Belgian university, he addresses clergy abuse and the role of women on the 3-day apostolic journey of Pope Francis to Belgium. Has largely been an occasion for Belgian advocates to call on the Catholic Church to better address clergy SA, to reconsider its view of women, to integrate LGBTQ plus individuals, and to open up to gender. So it says here, 2 days after meeting privately with 17 victims of PP priests, Pope Francis said he felt their suffering through Mass at King Baudouin Stadium in Brussels before urging the local church not to cover up the abusers. In his homily concluding his trip to Belgium September 29th, he did not spare the episcopate. I ask everyone, do not cover up the abuse. I ask the bishops, do not cover up the abuse. Condemn the abusers and help them recover from this disease of abuse. And Francis said nothing about the Vatican's responsibility. When asked on the flight back to Rome about the possibility of creating an independent structure there, he merely pointed to the existence of the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors, which has been criticized for its lack of competence, financial transparency, and inability to oversee the powerful dicastery for the doctrine of the faith. So he says it works. But he is trying to put something out there. And yes, we can debate. We can absolutely debate whether he's serious or not. We can absolutely debate what is actually behind this and where it's all intended to go. Absolutely. However, this is groundbreaking stuff that a pope is saying that. And it just shows the times we're in. And on the surface level, it's absolutely probably meant to A, push the church into the modern world so it doesn't completely fall off. B, to contribute to some kind of interfaith, which is what the next big thing is going to be. And not this year, next year, but I'd say in about 20 years, 30 years, some kind of multi faith, which incorporates it all. And this is absolutely one of the targets of the United Nations. They state it clearly. And the Lucis Trust, and I've spoken about that on my channel a couple times, and I'm not going to get into it anymore. But absolutely, the Lucis Trust. So you can look all that up. Look all that up. It's a rabbit hole. I just opened up a can. I didn't want to. I didn't mean to, you guys. I'm so sorry. But in any case, it is an objective, because only when we have a unified faith and a unified understanding of what's up, what's down, can we move forward in a unified way. This has already been done before with a high level of success, the Christianization of the world, pretty much. And through that, a unified understanding was created. So first the Christianization during the Byzantine times, and then of course up until today. And so that has created a mutual understanding of how this universe ticks, what's up, what's down, a moral code, a right, wrong compass. And it's through that these countries were able to achieve what they have achieved. So to move forward into some kind of a space age, they're needing to bring everybody up to speed into a mutual understanding of things. And this is but one step of many that are to come. Now, it's interesting because he has spoken on aliens and said that, God creates everywhere and that these are also God's children. He's spoken on LGBTQ plus now, and homosexuals in particular. And now he's speaking on how we all have this connection to God, and one is not better than the other. It's just a different pathway. Wow, Catholics are losing their minds. Losing their minds. And this is one of the foundational doctrines, right? So this is interesting. Let's see what's coming up for the collective for October. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else can we take, you guys? Oh, the Mandela effects. I forgot to mention those. If you're experiencing Mandela effects, let me know in the comment section. So October. So we're going to start off with a bang, because right in the beginning of October, we've got a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of, here's another thing, in the sign of Libra. It's actually playing out in the sign of Virgo because, the 23 degrees that we're off in Western astrology, but nobody cares. So why change? That seems to be the running theme. Like, change is so hard, even if it makes no sense anymore, even if it's dogmatic, even if it's a block and a stopper. It doesn't matter, just stay stuck. Just stay stuck. I don't even know what to say anymore. I honestly think this is purgatory. I really do. I think we're incarnated here, and we're all chained to our vices, and we have the opportunity and the chance to release our vices being in this space. We come in kind of with them already. And I think so many movies and stories have already showed that concept where, you see this murky darkness after death where they're in limbo kind of, and they're still attached to their sins, and they're still smoking, or sins in air quotes, of course, and they're still smoking and drinking and doing all that. And then the angel comes in, and because of their skewed perception, they're unable to see an angel for what it is, and that it's an angel and that it's actually there to help. And they're like, whoa, get out, or start attacking the angel until the angel recedes and then tries again a while later. And they have to be there a while in order to get so stuck and so frustrated that they will literally try anything, including giving up. Giving up and relenting and finally seeing reality for what it is, and then going with the angel to their next level. And I really feel that that's here. I don't think that this dimensional frequency that we inhabit is ever going to change. This is like grade 3. Grade 3 doesn't change, right? It just teaches you the same stage over and over and over and over again. And that's what I'm starting to realize is the matrix, as you encounter it personally, is there to bring the worst and the best out of you. So wherever you are in this dynamic, it's going to pull it out of you. It's going to reform itself around you. It's like your sparring partner, your AI sparring partner, you know, in those movies like Star Wars where they always have these robot partners. That's this matrix kind of thing. So it's never going to change. What changes is you. You change, you change, you change, you change, and then everything changes, and eventually you let go. And I won't say there's no battle or fight anymore, but you're like Neo, where it's just like, okay. And maybe, I don't know, that's my hypothesis right now because it's so crazy. I have to, you know, play with ideas. Okay, so anyways, this solar eclipse in Libra, which is actually in Virgo, but we don't want to change because we're stuck. So people are going to be talking about all these Libran aspects to the solar eclipse, but it's not really going to play itself out like that. It's more of a Virgoan thing, and it's more of the feminine thing, you know, a reset of the feminine um, issues around femininity and women coming up, especially women of color, because Virgo is also the sign of the servant, the sign of the slave in some astrology schools, the sign of um, the lower caste. I also want to change Saturn personally. I haven't read this much before. I've only found one little writing on this in my research, but I absolutely feel that Saturn is the grandmother and it's the elderly woman. Okay. So take that as you will, look in your chart, play around with that concept and idea, and interpret Saturn through that lens and see what happens. Okay, just let me know in the comment section below. So, but this eclipse in the sign actually of Virgo is going to affect mostly like this downtroddenness of women. It's really going to highlight it where it's undeniable. And especially women of color. I was watching this person on TikTok, and I'll link the video in the description box below, who was saying how I don't know where he's from. He looks, I don't know, I'm guessing. Wild guess, could be wrong. Who knows nowadays? Actually, it doesn't matter. It's some guy. So check it out. And he was saying that his mother told him if he ever got into a dire situation, and for example, he's in a crowd and everything's going crazy, or he's at school, or what, you name it, look for a Black woman because she will sincerely help. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, how many times have I heard that? It was my Black teacher that really supported me and was behind me. It was my Black kindergarten teacher who made me aware of this and this and this. It was my Black trainer who really got the best out of me. It was my Black whatever, you name it. And there's some kind of an angel in disguise. I don't know if it's in part because we've been raised to be so good and better than everybody else that it's so ingrained in us to always be of service. But people know deep in their subconscious. So it is surprising the level of triggering that Black women can have upon the world at large, whether it's wearing their hair out, which becomes a political statement. An Afro hairstyle is a political statement, you guys. Whether it's them having to defend their hairstyles just to go to school, whether it's them just existing or being, and people feeling like they need to put them in their place and educate them no matter how old they are or how experienced they are. Whether it's gotten incredible, and it was going pretty good for a while there. Like 7 years ago, I felt like things were really shifting and changing in a really positive direction. But COVID, I don't know what happened, and everything, the world is regressing. It's absolutely falling off the ladder and crashing down several rungs. So there's something coming up around the feminine and the feminine exploitation as well. And these issues finally not being tackled once and for all, because it's going to take forever, but coming once again back on the table, once again, focusing in on how are we treating the feminine? How are we, why do we see the feminine as so negative? why do we hate so much? Like, why? So another thing that is coming up with this October is the focusing on materialism, right? And materialism is so extreme, it's infiltrated every aspect of our lives. So people base everything and their measurements and their values on what you have. So you are successful if you have a lot. If you have the car, you have the house, if you have a lot. And instead of focusing on being, which is the paradigm that we're moving into now. A lot of Gen Zs understand that instinctively because they are the next generation that is coming in, and they are slightly different energetically from the previous ones. So they kind of get it. They'll go into a workplace, and if it's not vibing for them, they'll walk right back out. They will tell people off. They will say, okay, when back in the day, it was expected of us to just shut up and be quiet and do as we're told, kind of thing, whether it makes sense or not. And Gen Z is not about to do that, a lot of them. And a lot of them will comment and they'll say, okay, it makes no sense the way you're doing it. And if they can then get the response, that's the way we've always done it, and you're here to learn, they're like, okay, I'm here to learn how you did it wrong the last 50 years. How does that make sense? Please, somebody help me here. And things are just shifting completely in that direction where it's no longer about having, it's more about being, where Gen Z is like, I don't need the car, I don't need the furniture. If I have to work this job and sell my soul for it, I'm not going to do that. And it's just not worth the fight to them. It's just not worth it because they saw the ramifications of people that had everything and did nothing with it, and people that had the opportunity to grow and develop into something fantastic and didn't. And how twisted it all is, how twisted this entire system is. So there is something coming up around money, finances, economy from a spiritual point of view, simply because we're so attached to it. If we weren't attached to it, nothing would happen in that end. But because we're so attached to it, it's got to collapse, break down, and we've got to build something new, a new way of showing value, a new way of aligning ourselves to something good and beautiful. Okay, so let's see what the cards are saying here. I'm going to try not to make this video too long because I know we all ain't got time for that. What a wild time. This is too crazy for words. Yeah. So the collective, please, the collective, what's going on in the collective? And we've got the 10 of Wands. People are done. They're overburdened. They've had it up to their necks. They're overburdened with generational curses as well. And they're just done. The 10 of Wands, they just want to throw it off. At this point, everybody wants to shake off the system. The system is like a leech that has become its own thing, has its own mind, its own essence, its own entity, and constantly creates or forces new ideas into our system to maintain itself and keep itself going. It's quite the thing to watch. And they're waiting for a sign. They're waiting for a savior. This is Paul. Now, this is interesting because Paul is the actual foundation of the church. And Paul was not who Jesus placed the church in into the hands of. He placed the church into the hands of Peter. Fortunately, Peter was crucified as well. But still, Peter did start a church, and that was supposed to be Jesus's church. And Peter was a much more amiable character. He was kind, gentle, sweet, caring. Paul was just as much as he was fanatical about hunting down Christians after his conversion from Saul into Paul. He was just as fanatical as a Christian. He didn't change his nature. He just changed his name. So that, shows a lot in that story. But Paul is the actual foundation on which the church is built, which is why so many people can't align with it, which is why it's so misogynistic, which is why, because the original church wasn't any of that. Nothing of that. And in the original church, there were women priests, there were a lot of channelings, there were connections to spirit. But Paul came along and oh my gosh. So Paul is representative to me in this deck. And this is why I love this deck so much. And I did a whole deck review. So go check it out. It's the Biblical Tarot because the people that made it know their stuff. And how I know they know their stuff? By this one little card here, placing Paul as the Knight of Swords, right? And so there are going to be a lot of people swinging a lot of rhetoric, okay? A lot of people sharpshooting, and look at all the men in that audience, right? A handful of women, but yeah. And there are going to be a lot of people like, trying to utilize, take advantage of these times to promote themselves, to promote their agendas and their ideas. And there are a lot of hotheads and hot air that is going to come up and out of these times. So this is a collective reading, but it's an opportunity, Ace of Cups. It really is an opportunity. From God, we're getting the opportunity here. Come on. Okay, this is Jesus and the Good Samaritan at the well. And so we're getting an opportunity here to really tap into our spirit, into that which is deep within us, into that core light, that core being, and to really tap into it and really see how we can make it glow, how we can make it glow brighter. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to take this moment right now, right here, and I'm asking you guys to please take a deep breath in with me and out and in and out. And just feel this energy flowing through the palms of your hand into your heart or into your soul star just above your heart. And where attention goes, energy grows. So put your attention on the light that is shining in your heart and in your being. And whatever darkness is in there, allow that light to shine clearly and cleanly through it. Feel the light that is in you. Feel it cleansing and clearing and filling that space. Feel the love. And if you take a moment every day just to just that, feeling the love, feeling your heart, feeling the energy as it, reconnecting to spirit, source, the divine. Over time, it will change your life. And as it changes your life, it will change the lives around you. And it's nothing too fantastic. That's the thing, is we've been so desensitized and we've been so brutalized by Hollywood, yes, by our music, by just really even our food, like overdoing it in the sensation to the extreme that we've become so desensitized that we expect anything spiritual to be mind-blowing, like the latest, Bruce Willis movie or something that really knocks us out of our socks. But does it knock you out of your socks to watch a tree grow? Can we recreate trees and tree growth? No, we can't. Does it knock you out of your socks if you've been pregnant? If you've been, these are things that just happen naturally. Life is so subtle and so soft and so gentle. This is the same energies that has created babies and kittens and snowflakes and little tiny flowers. Life is beautiful. And when we say we don't like life, we're actually saying we don't like this matrix that we're trapped in, that we've created all together, humanity in the collective mind, which is now controlling us, which we absolutely feel is artificial because it is. So here we have the 10 of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. So There is a burden that's in the air. It's very heavy. It's very palpable. People are sick and tired. They're waiting for a savior. They're waiting for someone to come along to stand up on the soapbox and say the right words so that people can feel justified and good, saying, I back this person. And through backing that person, they can divert and distract from the work that they need to do on themselves in their own space, in their own families, which harbors and creates and continues the atmospheric conditions of our communities, which add to the atmospheric conditions of our cultures and our countries and of the world, right? So everybody can just deflect. And that's not what's going to happen, though. Like, yes, there will be orators and there will be people that come along and say, I am the solution. But it's too late, because the Spirit of God is utilizing this time. The Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, can turn all things to good. So it can take anything, and if given over to the glory of God, it will take it and turn it into something magnificent that glorifies life, that glorifies the divine, that glorifies God. So the Holy Spirit is already at work. It's already at work in the world, utilizing everything that is happening here, utilizing everything that we're going through, and changing everything slowly, slowly, bit by bit, to the glory of God. And so we have an opportunity, and it's a spiritual opportunity, and many are called, but few will answer. Many are called, but few will answer. And it's a spiritual opportunity that is coming up during these times where you are being called. You are being called to service. Now, the thing about being called to service is, circle back to the materialism. I've connected with so many people over the years, and especially now, that are so deeply insecure, that want to be of service, but are still so deeply insecure in their faith and in spirit, that they tie their success to materiality. So if they study with the sharpest minds, if they spend the most money, then they're doing something right. If they study with those people that have the mostest of the mostest, then they're doing something right. And what they're actually chasing is status. They're not really chasing spirit or service to spirit. Because if you're in service to spirit, you bloom where you are planted, you work where you are told. And it's God utilizes you in the situation that God places you in. So God's not just going to lift you up and fulfill the prosperity gospel on you. He will do that with certain individuals possibly, but they have a much higher price to pay on the back end as well, right? But it's because to whom much has been given, much will be asked. Much will be asked. And so be careful what you wish for, right? But it's time for us to break the hold that this material realm has on us, on our minds, on our hearts, on our spirituality, on everything. And so these people are so confused, and they really focus in on, without saying anything, but you can feel it and it's palpable. If you are so spiritual, then you're supposed to have this, 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 and this, and this. All of a sudden, they equate it with material success. And how many times does Jesus have to say in the Bible, you are not of this world, and whatever's in this world, it has no relevance, it has no meaning. But people are escapists and they dive into this in the hopes that they can somehow escape from the turbulence and the pain and the uncertainty and the grayness that is within them. But true spirituality, real spirituality, leads you right into the thick of it, leads you right into those spaces. It doesn't allow you to avoid them. It doesn't allow you to spiritually bypass. It doesn't allow you to focus on distractions. It leads you into the thick of it. And you walk out, oh my gosh, but first you go through it. So this may be what humanity collectively is going through as the shadows of humanity rise to be cleared. And but it's going to be a while yet, and it has to get still darker before we see the light. Okay, so that was the collective. Wow. You guys, I on a roll here. Let's start off with Aries through to Pisces. And the only reason I'm doing astrology, you guys, is because it reaches people. Literally, straight up, flat out. It reaches people. And I hope that through these readings, you get to thinking about things within yourself, within your life, within your relationship to God, within your relationship to life herself, but that you start asking the right questions and waiting patiently for the answers instead of going and, but yeah, speaking of which, intuitive development, I'm putting together a group again. So if you're interested in being a part of that, because this is all part of God's design. If you are interested, and I'm not utilizing that, but I want you to rest assured that you're not doing anything wrong. That's why I said that. And intuition development, then there's going to be a link in the description box below. It's starting end of October. Join me. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. You're going to surprise yourself with your gifts, your talents, your abilities. But moreover, you will have a compass. You will have a clarity at the end of this that is going to be absolutely amazing for you to work with, for yourself, and to be in service to spirit for others. Okay. Okay, so let's dive in. Yay, Aries. And I'm going to make these short and sweet. You guys, we're going to go through really quickly because ain't nobody got time for that. Aries, you come up here with a burning bush and some fear. You've got the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands, and this is Moses and the burning bush, right? So it says here, when the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. Moses said, here I am. Then you have the moon card. Okay, so Aries, it feels like October, you're really going to be tackling your fear of being yourself, your fear of moving ahead, your fear of listening to the insights and the inclinations that God has given you. Maybe when you were a child and when you were younger and when you were just starting out on this pathway and you heard certain things, you were more eager to listen, you would throw yourself into it. But over time, as things didn't pay off materially, or relationship wise, possibly, or it caused you anxiety because you were getting too much information, you were hearing too much, getting too much, you couldn't sort things out for yourself, you didn't know where to categorize everything, and you didn't know how to turn it off. Maybe you're a dreamer, Aries, and you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning and you just know you've been traveling, you've been astral traveling, or you've been dreaming, or you've been having sights that you can't explain and that worry you and cause you anxiety. And now there's a voice in the bushes saying, hey, come over here. You're like, I'm done. I'm done. You lead nowhere. So it's time to like reinvigorate your faith, Aries. It's time to create that relationship, to foster that relationship again with the divine, with the purest essence of yourself, but also the purest essence that you can absolutely connect to with divinity itself. It's time to practice that again without always going there to seek some kind of solution or some kind of right to a wrong or a vengeance or what have you to get something for yourself. It's time to just go hang out. It's time to just get to know. It's time to just observe. It's time to just watch. It's time to just talk. It's time to just pray. Dare I say? So it feels as if it's time for you to really watch what you ingest before you go to sleep, Aries. And when you wake up in the morning, try to stay off your phone, off your laptop for at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you go to sleep. Try to not go into your sleep carrying those images into your subconscious mind. And you'll see how things will lighten, like the energy is going to lighten in your sleep and in your dreams. A new burning passion coming into your life, feeling this inspiration that might feel larger than life for you, where you're not sure, how am I going to get this out? How am I going to produce this? How am I going to make this happen? So something coming in that is really maybe in a dream, a sudden insight or a sudden, and take this seriously, because you might wake up on the other side and think, oh no, it was a nice dream, but I can't make that happen. Take these dreams seriously. If you get a message in a dream, try to make it happen, try to make it come about. But Aries, this is definitely a time where this consciousness stream of Aries. So even if you have no Aries in sun, moon, and rising, but you have a lot of planets in Aries or something like that, but you have that Aries energy, that Aries consciousness stream, there's something new coming about and happening for you that you need to pay attention to. Okay. Taurus, what's coming up for you, Taurus? Taurus. Taurus. Taurus, you've got, wow, Taurus, you've got the Empress and the 10 of Cups. Taurus, there's a fear here that you've been having, and it may be that you feel regretful about things that happened in your family in the past. Maybe you're looking for redemption, forgiveness, for grace, for something that around your family. Okay. Maybe you're finally maybe you've had difficulties within your family up until now, and all of a sudden things have shifted and you're realizing your blessings and your luck. It could be that you're also praying for your family, but there's something that's deep in your heart that you're really holding on tight to, Taurus, and it feels like this is about to come through for you. A prayer around family, around your children, around your spouse or partner, possibly around your parents. Something is going to be granted. There's something that is tearing open your heart, and you're starting to realize the importance of family, why you experienced family, why you went through what you went through. There's some kind of a regret that is being lifted from you now, Taurus. And it feels as if there's a new blessing that is coming into your family, possibly through your offspring, through your children. Yeah. If you don't have children, it does feel as if you're praying for children, or you're praying for a family, you're praying for a stable base to move out from, and it's going to come in for you. So this is a time where you can really focus in on that and manifest that, and focus on your emotional happiness and emotional harmony. You can pray for that. But there's a blessing that's absolutely coming your way that has to do with family, Taurus. It also feels as if whatever regrets you may have had, whatever apologies you want to speak them. Just go ahead. Don't overthink things. Don't think too long about them. Just say your apologies. If it's coming up to you for you to say to people that you love, just say it. Just express it. Do a ho'oponopono. Some of you may be wondering, how can I reconnect with someone that has absolutely no connection with me and no desire? Just do a ho'oponopono. It's okay. Their spirit and their soul will receive the message. And that's all you can do. That's all you need to do. But it really feels like someone has forgiven you, and it feels like a blessing. It feels like the doors are wide open, and there's such a connect around family this month. Some of you may be receiving a blessing in the sense of pregnancy. Okay. I do feel some of you might be getting pregnant, or hearing, having someone in the family that is pregnant or getting pregnant or having a child this month. Yeah, it feels like this is a birth month of sorts. So this could also mean a birth of your projects, that something has finally culminated. But I'm feeling this is too significant a time. This is life itself wanting to connect with you, reaching out to you and calling you back, calling you home. Not in the sense of, but to reconnect, to feel that flow of life in your life again, and through you and through your existence and through your mind and your emotion and your body and your spirit. There's something really beautiful and graceful about this month. Enjoy it, Taurus. Enjoy it. But something that you've been feeling guilty about for quite some time, it's going to clear, and it's time to apologize. It could also mean that you receive an apology, Taurus, but if it's on you to apologize, it's time to apologize. Okay. Moving on to Gemini. Gemini, what's coming up for Gemini, please? Gemini. Gemini, this month of October, what can Gemini expect? Gemini, wow, you come out of the thick of it, yeah. You've been praying around money and finances and to kind of come home. Yeah, there's this feeling of I have no home and I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I keep hearing that. I want to find my people and my tribe, Ace of Coins. I want my opportunity, and I've been struggling for so long. I haven't been able to really make it. Even if you've been able to make ends meet quite well, there's always this feeling left within you, Gemini, as if I haven't quite made it. I'm not quite where I'm needing to be. I'm not quite where I'm supposed to be. And I just want to make it. So it feels like this month there's a significant process or progress that is coming in for you. It could be that you meet the right people, that an offer or an opportunity is given to you, which saves you at the last minute. But something is really coming in for you that reminds you that God is on your side, that God hears your prayers, that God's got your back. And even though God's not going to give you anything that would damage your spirit and your soul. So when we pray for things and we don't always get what we prayed for, ask yourself, what kind of an ramification would it have for me to get what I asked for? Who would I turn into? What kind of a person would I become? Because money doesn't change a person. It reveals who that person always was. So what about you still needs to evolve or develop in order to get the financial stuff that you feel that you should have? Is it that you feel a sense of self, a lack of sense worth, a lack of connection to life, a lack of sense of purpose? What is it? So whatever it is, work on healing that, because that's what's kind of blocking spirit from being able to give to you, because they know if they give to you in this stage, they're effectively destroying you. And that's not what spirit is about. Okay. So, but something is shifting majorly right now for you, okay? And Five of Cups is grief and disappointment, and you're able to move on from something. It could be that some kind of relationship fell apart or something fell together for you, and you're finally able to move on from that. You're finally able, and with help of something new. So you might be getting under to get over, but you're getting over. You're getting over, Gemini. It's soon to be a thing of the past. Cancer, what's going on for you in October, please? What's going on for you in October? Cancer. What does Cancer need to know? Cancer, there's a victory. We've got the Nine of Swords, which came up first, and this is having all these concerns, clearly, having regrets, remorse, not finding a way out, overthinking things, putting way too much mental effort into things, insomnia, difficulty sleeping at night, difficulty falling asleep. And you finally get a handle on this, okay? You finally get a handle and a grip on this. You're finally able to clear things. Now I'm feeling it, some health issues that are coming up as well, or you may be dealing with someone's health issues and having a concern and anxiety around them and their health issue. But there's some kind of a breakthrough this month with the Six of Wands that really shifts things in your favor. There's a breaking down of a wall, some kind of a resistance that shifts everything for you this month. It's a pretty good month, but you have to get out of that habit, Cancer, to be such a worrywart. Okay, place your faith in God. Place your faith in God and in God's timing and God's plans. Don't try to solve everything by yourself. You're not here to do it by yourself. You're here to co-create. So don't let your ego run away with you and make you feel like it has all the answers. And meanwhile, it's just leading you around in a circle like a rabbit after a carrot on a string. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't fall for it. Pray and don't worry. Okay. Moving on to Leo. Leo, what does Leo need to know? Leo for this month of October. Wow. Leo, there's a fear here around emotional satisfaction, family, and love, where you're fearing never having this. You're fearing that you're going to be alone until the end of your days. You're fearing that you know, you're never going to have what you've been looking for or desiring. And it feels like, Leo, you've always wanted this happiness and this peace and this connection and this settle down, but maybe your anxiety has kind of kept you from that. Maybe you've been trying to, you know, fear will do a lot of weird things and make people do weird things, or we see shadows in the dark that aren't really there and do all these weird things. And it feels like such an uphill battle as I'm tapping into your energy. It's such an uphill battle. And you're like, why is this so hard? It should just be natural. It should just be normal. But nothing in our society is natural and normal anymore. It's all been commodified. It's all become a product to be marketed and sold. It's all become very transactional. And so one part of you recognizes that game and is quite willing to play it. And the other part of you resents that game and says, why should I be a part of this? And so you're in that inner turmoil and battle, it feels like, Cancer, Leo. But it all things, you know, and well, it does feel as if you're going to meet someone, because this is an illusion. Remember, your fears are an illusion. This is what's not real. So this is what's real, your wish for this, but also you meeting someone with whom you can finally have this experience with, who can finally assuage your fears of being unworthy and unlovable or invisible, and who can finally wrap you in that feeling. So you can call that in, Leo. It's time to really focus in on that and call that in, manifest it, call it in, manifest it. There's some kind of a fear here about a relationship and yeah, not being maybe not not being able to maintain a relationship, not being able to stick around for the long run. Could be that you're also going on leave with a partner. I'm seeing somebody traveling here, but not alone. And going on a holiday or some kind of a getaway with a partner, something like that. And you being anxious about that for some reason. Okay, don't be, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Right, moving on to Virgo. So the showdown is happening in your sign. That's where all the planets are located, or yeah. The this solar eclipse, new moon. Let's see here, Virgo. Virgo, what does Virgo need to know, please? It's the fundamental, and I'm getting 3 cards to pull, and what I'm hearing is the fundamental lack of respect we have for service is going to change. So a lot of us live in societies and culture that have no respect for people that serve, or for service. And yet on the other side, in the higher planes, if you watch the videos of the movie like Chico Javier, No Solar, or other ones, they'll show you that the angels have no fear of service or of bowing to us, even though we are less than them. They have no fear of being in service, or the higher beings. They love to be of service. And so we're in this weird land where we don't value service, yet we yearn for service, which we equate with love if all goes well, and to be bowed to, but we don't ever want to bow back. And we want to elevate and we wanted to get into the higher spheres, but in order to dominate and not to serve. But the higher spheres are about service and not about domination at all. So it's quite an interesting thing. So this deep mindset that we have of negativity towards those that are in service, and where we refuse to understand that, for example, spiritual workers, genuine ones, they work where they are sent to work, right? It's not a pick and choose here. Oh, I'm only going to work for wealthy people. I'm only going to work in the higher upper echelons. I'm only going to make this amount of money. That's all ego. That's all materialism. It's not spirituality. It's not serving spirit. So here we have the soul. Oof. I'm telling you guys, it is so, this is all about Virgo. And this realignment of the soul, the reawakening of the soul, the coming together, coming up of the true soul, the true man, and that coming up and out. And here we have a major breakthrough in our understanding of what it means to serve. Okay. A major breakthrough. Whoa, 10 commandments. This is the justice. Okay, Virgo. New laws, new agreements with spirit. And all of us have agreements with spirit to serve in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of people have decided once they got here, they don't want to honor that contract anymore. They want to be in power. They don't want to be in service. They don't realize that being in service is being in power. They don't see that. So, very, very interesting here, but there's some kind of a breakthrough that's happening, a barrier, a wall that is being broken through. In for those of you that have consciousness streams in Virgo, but it's allowing the soul to rise. It's allowing for an ascension, if you will, even though I don't want to use that cliche word, because it's finally clicking what it means. It's finally sinking in. You're finally getting it. Aha, what it means to be of service and how important it is. And how important it is to be in service to spirit, and that when you're in service to spirit, it doesn't look like what we think it looks like on this side of the veil. It doesn't, that life is deeper. Even your most casual encounters are spiritually deep, right? So it's interesting because so many people see their life as inconsequential and only of value to them and to themselves and to their ego, as some kind of random occurrence, and that has to follow certain man-made laws and rules. And Virgo's about to burst that open. So wherever Virgo is in your chart, take a look, because this is where this energy is probably going to come through for you in some way, shape, or form. There's going to be a massive, massive change in your perspective, in your mindset, in how you go about things, in what you encounter, and but it all rotates around this topic of whom do you serve, how do you serve, why do you serve, and where do you serve, when do you serve, do you flip it on? Do you think you can turn spirituality on and off like with a switch? This is all going to change. So be prepared for other assignments to come your way, where you're going to feel and wake up and realize my contract has changed. I was in contract before to do this, and this, but now my contract has changed. It's going to be amazing. Some of you might be feeling that energy behind me. Yes, I know. I know. I know. I'm not going to say who or what it is. No, no, no. All righty. Moving onward to Libra. Yeah, Libra. Libra, what's coming up for Libra, please? Libra. Libra, we've got diplomacy, okay? We've got the Queen of Swords and the Emperor. So I feel like there's a lot of negotiations going on, a lot of talks in this month of October, a lot of discussions, meetings. I see Libra going from meeting to meeting to meeting. It's a very structured month for you. If you're dealing with relationships, it feels like this is a lot of hashing it out with your partner. This is a lot of, or you feel like this is the right person for you, and you're hashing it out. You're hashing out the details. And you have to remember, this is not a contract, right? This is a love relationship. But this person, I feel, is kind of distancing themselves from you, from relationships at this moment. They seem kind of off or off-putting for some reason. They seem kind of occupied with other things and also expanding their territory. You may also be occupied with expanding your territory. And I recommend that prayer of Jabez. Look it up. just type into Google Prayer of Jabez and pray it. Jabez. Okay. It's about expanding your territory and allowing God to let you expand your territory, because sometimes to expand our territory, we have to believe in ourselves and we have to believe that we can. And we have to give our minds permission to be more expansive in our own minds first, right? To have a more expansive mind, to have a bigger mindset, a broader view, a larger perspective than what we're used to working within. So many of us like work in our day to day in this kind of realm here, but you want to expand all this way, all of it, like just completely. And really pray for God to help you expand your territory and grow your income, grow your abilities, grow your talents, grow your gifts, grow your network, grow everything. And you'll see the result of it. Now is a fantastic time for you to do that. Like I said, if you're in a partnership, it feels like there's something distant here going on. So you may be in a long distance relationship, or you may be with someone who's very distant to you right now. It does feel as if there's a lot of talking going on, or emailing, Zooming, that kind of thing. Hashing out details about the future, but also finding peace with one another, someone drawing boundaries, setting boundaries, negotiating those boundaries. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up for a partnership. So not too fun, but a necessary stage in any partnership. And you will get through this soon. But otherwise, really pray, Libra. Pray to have your boundaries to be allowed to expand your boundaries. Okay. Moving on to Scorpio. What's coming up for Scorpio, please? Scorpio. Scorpio. And we've got the Judgment card. Wow. Oof, 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 oof. And the Queen of Cups. Oh, Scorpio, what's going on? There's a high level of guilt here, and I'm feeling like Scorpio, you're feeling guilty for something or the other, and you may be praying for forgiveness or asking for forgiveness. You may also be judging your pathway or your spirituality. It's like you're judging life itself at this moment. And it feels like you're looking out through a judgmental lens into this world, but what you're actually doing is you're judging yourself. You're judging your level of spirituality. That's what it feels like. And I see here someone who's very self-reflective, who prays a lot, who meditates, who goes within and is seeking the kingdom of God and doesn't know if it's just a fantasy, right? If it's just a fantasy that they're creating, or if they actually experience something. Some of you are wanting to experience something, but you're afraid that if you get that far into the divine or into the divine cloud, that you're going to end up being judged, or that you're being locked out because you're being judged. There's a lot going on around judgment, feeling guilty, not feeling good enough, praying for help, feeling lonely, feeling isolated. A lot happening with you this month, Scorpio. Ooh, some of you are suffering under the feeling of being judged. Someone that maybe elevated themselves above you, or you feel like they elevated above you, or they come from somewhere else, and this is making you feel insecure. And when I say from somewhere else, it's like energetically they're on such a different frequency. Oh, but strong judgment going on here. Judging yourself and judging others, theme, topic, issue in the month of October. And you're going to realize it's holding you up, it's blocking you. And because there's also the question around religion and what you believe. Do you believe in God? Do you believe in Christ? Or do you believe in Buddha? Or do you believe in anything at all? And who am I going to encounter when I get over there? And are there different heavens for different beliefs? Or is there just one heaven and it just cloaks itself in whatever I want to see? Like, all these questions seem to be going through your mind at this time. And it's time to let go. It's like you're holding on really tightly. There's this willpower to break through into the divine. I want to be able to see. I want to be able to dream. I want to be able to visualize. I want a new beginning for myself. That's what I'm really hearing and feeling for Scorpio, is you really want a new beginning for yourself. You're praying for a new beginning. You're done. Yeah. You're done. And I don't mean done like that. I just mean with the way the world is and other people, and you're just like, ugh, if I could just start over. So you're kind of taking stock. That's what I've been searching for this entire wordy time. You've been taking stock of everything and assessing. Okay. And you're going through this moment in time where you're taking stock, assessing, cataloging, analyzing, labeling, filing things away. And you just need your time and your peace, and it's soon going to be okay. But you're being very introspective, withdrawn, and you have to focus on not becoming bitter. Like you have to not become bitter. Yeah. Okay. Focus on keeping your heart open, focusing on discerning but not judging would be good for you at this time. There's some kind of a revitalization. So those of you that are in on again, off again relationships, it's going to be on again, but it doesn't feel like it used to. And you're actually praying to get out of this cycle. That's what I'm seeing. You're praying to get out of this cycle. Okay, but there's some kind of a rejuvenation of something that has run its course. You're gonna, beat the dead horse and it's actually gonna stand up again. So Pet Cemetery, be careful what you wish for. Moving on to Sagittarius. Saggies, what's coming up here? Saggies. Saggies. Sagittarius, please. Sagittarius. We've got okay, you've got the Judgment card as well. Lots of judgment happening in October. So we've got the Six of Cups and Judgment, and it feels like, you want to feel your soul again, Sagittarius. You want to do something that brings light into your soul, that enlivens you, that makes you feel like joy, whether it's being creative, and you could be a creative artist, you could be a writer, or maybe an artist in any which way, shape, or form. Maybe you create lampshades or jewelry or you name it. And it feels like you're looking for something that will ignite your inner child, that will set your inner child on fire, because you figured out that your inner child is your creative spark, and that there is only one creator, and that spark is an aspect of the divine. And you want to feel it. You want to feel that connection to source, to glory, to beauty, to expansiveness, to joy, to the higher levels. You want to be in that realm again. You want to be at home. There's this real homecoming feeling with this Judgment card for me when it comes to you, Sag. Really coming home, really finding your tribe, finding your people, landing in the right space at the right time, doing the right thing. But there's something very heavenly about this as well. So really feeling comfortable with what it is that you do and how you do it. That is a true level of success. I don't remember who said it anymore, but it was someone who said, a woman, I remember that. Was it Maya Angelou or something like that? I don't remember. But someone said a true measure of success, or a true level of success, is liking your own decisions, being happy with how you do things, and liking what you do, right? Liking what you do and being happy with how you got there. And that's a true level of success. And not being so hard on yourself and doing what other people think is right, and then thinking, oh yeah, great, I love it, but not really having a feeling of it, or a feeling or a connection to it. But to really feel happy with you being you, just as you are, straight up, no filter, no nothing, just being you. And it feels like this, you're going to be working on that in October. because you felt defeated for far too long, Sag. You felt I feel like running like a hamster in a cage, running, and not getting anywhere, not getting anything done, not doing anything. And it really feels like that has come to an end, where you move into a space where you decide, I'm just going to get off this wheel and I'm going to be happy with me. And if you like me, great. If you don't like me, then don't. And this goes for all your relationships, including those personal ones, intimate ones, where I do feel there's a kind of a detachment there, where you've got to work this out with yourself first internally before you can really invest or dive into a relationship with another person. So you might be keeping someone at a distance. You might be hesitating, really jumping into something and really committing. Okay. You're going to take your time in this, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. You want this person to reveal themselves, like who they really are, and you're thinking, I'm going to show who I really am, and give them enough time for myself, but also for them to really show who they are. Okay, moving onwards. Yes, we're getting through here. Capricorn. What's coming up for Cappies in this month of October? Capricorn, what does Capricorn need to know, please? Capricorn. Capricorn. And we've got, oof. Okay, we've got the High Priest and the Two of Coins. So just like the Pope, you're mixing things up, Capricorn. You're mixing things up. You're shaking things up here. Okay. You're bringing people into uncertainty this month. Maybe you can't make a choice on which side of the fence you're on. Maybe you can't make a decision. But for some reason, you're really shaking things up. You're coming across as mysterious, Capricorn, as knowledgeable, as wise. But at the same time, there's this uncertainty that you're unleashing. You're really observant this month. You're watching someone. I see you watching someone and observing people around you, maybe at your place of work. But I can see your eyes going back and forth and just, making mental notes of what you see. And it really feels as well as if there may be a hesitation to commitment this month as well, because the Hierophant does represent a commitment, and the Two of Coins represents juggling commitments. So who knows, you may be juggling commitments, but you may also be having two jobs. You may be, having your hands full with a bunch of things to do. But when it comes to relationships, there's some kind of hesitation where you're like, let me wait this one out. I'm not quite sure, but it feels like Capricorn, somebody really wants to commit to you. Like they want you. They've pegged you as their person. And they're really wanting that. So we'll see how this ends, but this month is not it. Okay. So I do feel like it's a successful month for you overall with the Hierophant card. Everything is like moving forward. The gates are opening. You have the keys to the palace and the castle. Everything's working out for you and your prayers are being heard. But there's this non-committal stance that you kind of keep going throughout the entire month, where you're just in observer mode and you want to observe first before you dive into something. There's also a juggling. I keep seeing you juggling things. So you may be, like I said, juggling two jobs or people, or there's some kind of juggling things to make things happen or flow. It's like you're not getting enough from the one, so you need the other. I don't know. Okay. All right. But otherwise, a cool, uneventful month for you. It's very stable. You may be dealing with a Taurus as well, another Earth sign, and or Virgo or another Capricorn. But I'm picking up a lot of more Taurus energy. Okay. All right, moving on to Aquarius. Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to know for this month of October? What's coming up here? October, please. This month of October. This month of October, we've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, Aquarius. Wow. You're really going to be standing up for yourself this month. Somebody's going to try to test your boundaries, I feel, and it may even affect you financially. So this does have to do with your place of work. And I see you stepping up, and I see you maintaining your boundaries, strengthening your boundaries, standing up for yourself, but also articulating what's going on quite loudly and clearly to anyone who will listen. There may be a warning here to watch out, because the Knight of Swords is very explosive and can bring a lot of drama to an already heated situation, and can really, when the Knight of Swords is done, nothing is left standing. So be mindful of the words that you speak, the arguments that you get into, if they're really worth the pain caused, and if it's really attacking your foundations, or if this is something else that you're trying to do or get across. I feel you dealing with other air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or earth signs such as Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. I see you also getting a gift. Someone is bringing a gift to you this month. You're receiving someone. Take it wholeheartedly. It is being given. Take it, receive it wholeheartedly. Don't feel any which way. I do see someone also, there's some kind of an accusation that is flying around here. I do feel an accusatory energy towards you, and I feel like you want to lay low in regards to something. I don't know what this is. It's just what I'm picking up. Some kind of accusation and you wanting to just lay low, but you have support, you have mentors, but also people that are warning you. Okay, so some kind of a warning that Aquarius needs to hear, that you have someone who is too close to your back. You shouldn't be that comfortable with them there. When it comes to relationships, I'm not really picking up anything significant for you. If you're in a relationship, it will continue, of course. But if you're just getting to know people, I don't feel this month is the month where you're going to meet that special person. There's always the opportunity. So take it with a grain of salt, especially if you pray, right? Only God knows. But according to the energies that I'm picking up right now, it's a month where you're going to feel quite comfortable with yourself, though, and with your close friends. And you might receive accolades for your gifts, for your talents, your skills, and your abilities, but it's not the most romantic month. Okay, that's still coming for you. Alrighty, Aquarius, take care and watch your back. Moving on to Pisces. Pisces, what's coming up for Pisces, please? Pisces. What does Pisces need to know for October and this month ahead? Ooh, Pisces, wow. What a glorious month. You've got the Five of Pentacles. This card always shows up. You've got the Five of Pentacles, and this is the woman that is bleeding, that wouldn't stop, and she reaches out and says, quietly, but Jesus heard her, and he felt the force or the healing energy flow out from him, because she so believed that if she just touched his cloak, she would be healed. And he said, because of your faith, you shall be healed. So there's some kind of a celebration here, Pisces, with a Knight of Cups as well. And here we see young David, who is quite the singer and who wrote many of the Psalms that we enjoy. But we have here the Knight of Cups. So there's some kind of a healing energy, a very soft energy that's around you this month. People like being in your vicinity. You're very charming, you're magnetic, and people feel like they can heal around you, like they can find to themselves around you. You have the energy of a healer this month, and people are responding. Just make sure that you're not being taken advantage of, or it's going over your capacity, because but if it does, remember that there is a great healer that you can also turn to. Okay, that this great healer also is capable of helping you. There's something about singing praises this month. Don't forget to sing, Pisces, to sing from the bottom of your heart, to sing it out loud, sing out your emotions, sing out your praise to God, bless God, sing out praises to your own life, sing out praises over yourself. right? What you speak and what you articulate and what you say is so important because you are a manifesting master. And when you say something, it comes about. So be very mindful and sing beauty into this world, but really sing. There's something about releasing energy through singing. But also that you're going to be very grateful by the end of this month. A massive healing of a deep topic that has been plaguing you for a while is coming your way. This may be financial, emotional, something that you've been praying for. Maybe you've been isolated for quite some time, Pisces. Maybe you've isolated yourself, but there's a breakthrough that is happening. There's a breakthrough that is coming through this wall that you've built around yourself. And it's going to, you've been enduring for quite some time, Pisces. You've been hanging in there, you've been holding on, you've been praying, you've been studying, you've been waiting for the signs, you've been listening to your internal self. You've been hearing, what you needed to hear and all of that, but you're wondering, why am I still making the decisions that I make? Why am I being thwarted at every turn? Why aren't things working out for me the way I hoped them to or needed them to? What more do I need to sacrifice? What more can be taken from me? I just want to leave this all behind. Okay. I've done enough work. I've worked hard and it's time to leave it all behind. So it's time to start giving again and to tithe as well, Pisces. A really important part of the abundance manifestation is to be able to give and be willing to give the amount that you're willing to receive. So you have to be willing to give, and that means giving to others, tithing. But you, for example, if you demand a certain amount of money, you have to be willing to pay that amount of money to someone else for the same or similar service at the same or similar quality level. And it's keeping the balance in the universe. Okay. So there's some tithing, singing, being generous, mindful of what you speak and what you say. When it comes to relationships, this is a romantic month for you. Like I said, people are going to see you as super soft, super gentle, dreamy, attractive. Um, they want to be around your energy because it's so soothing and healing being with you. And you have to be mindful to set your boundaries and also to recharge. Okay, Pisces, that's pretty much it that's coming up for me. People are, there's someone that's very attached to you, nostalgia. They miss time. They don't necessarily miss space, but these are people that miss time, miss in time. They want to go back to what was, the way things were, but there's no going back. There's no going back to that. It's that time has passed, that moment in time, that quality of time. So, but there's someone that's missing you deeply, Pisces, and they're thinking about you deeply. They're still connected to you energetically. They feel you, they dream about you. You're trying, and you should continue to try to disconnect them though, because it's not for you, it's not the greatest. This is part of being willing and able to set boundaries and to really clearly set boundaries, because the more often you do it in this world, it becomes a habit in your consciousness and you do it automatically on the other side as well. You guys, thank you so much for watching. And somebody new is coming in for you, Pisces. Somebody's new is coming in for you. There is for those of you that have been single, this is a month where you can absolutely meet someone. But I do feel it's predominantly online or in some kind of tech environment or atmosphere. Okay, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm seeing. Some kind of tech environment, coffee shop atmosphere, internet cafe, tech convention. But it feels techy. Okay, so good luck with that. You guys, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to see you in your own personal session. So don't hesitate to sign up. The booking link is in the description box below. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. And also, I'm offering this intuition development workshop, and I'd love to see you there. It's going to be fun. Take care. Bye. Have an awesome October. Happy birthday to those of you with October birthdays. Bye.